Hello guys, Dynamite217 right here. So today, this video is actually very special. Since I just finished up with finals week a few weeks ago, I'm going to show you guys how to make a resin Green Lantern ring. Yep, gonna be really awesome, isn't it? Also, I've been on YouTube for 4 years too. Last summer, after seeing the movie Green Lantern, I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about this. I want to make a Green Lantern ring, so I decided to do some research on how other people make rings. And I dug a little bit deeper, and I found this awesome instructional tutorial by a guy named Honus. Mine is a slightly modified version of that. So here's a brief summary of how we do this. Basically, we carve out the shape of the ring we want in wax. Then you make a rubber negative mold of that, and then you cast the resin inside of this negative mold, and then you color it any way you want to. I do want to stress, though, that the carving part of it really depends on your patience and your character build. If you're really patient with this ring, it can look like a Hollywood budget piece of costume jewelry. If you're only patient enough to spend 5 minutes on it, then it'll most likely look like it's only worth 50 cents. Well, enough chit-chat. Let's see what we need, shall we? You get some carving wax. You can get it from pretty much any jewelry supply. A 1 foot by 1 foot section of 22 gauge steel or aluminum. Some Umu 30 rubber molding compound, some smooth cast 327 urethane resin, also from Smooth On, silver spray paint. Okay, ladies and gents, let's get started, shall we? First thing you want to do is basically take your block of wax and carve out the shape of the ring you want. Right. The primary sculpting tools shall be a knife, probe, and various chisels, and a flat screwdriver. And for shaping the wax, you want to use various files. You basically carve it out until you're happy with the shape of your ring. When mine was done carving, it looked like this. Alright guys, now to prepare the thing for a molding process. First thing that I did to do so was basically prep the thing with some wax sprues. Right, which you can buy pre-made from a store, or you can make them out of scrap wax. Right, and you can bend them using a heat gun. Now, as far as applying them, is basically you want to melt the tip of the wax, right, with something hot like a soldering iron, and then you quickly attach it to your wax cast. Essentially welding it together, almost. Yeah guys, this part right here is fill sprue, which, when it's in the mold, this part that you're gonna pour the resin into. And this part right here is a vent sprue, which, in the mold, will allow any air bubbles to escape. Now that the thing you're gonna cast is ready to be made into a mold, you wanna make a mold box, right? Mine is basically 3 pieces of sheet metal that I hot glued together like so. Okay, now you want to super glue your wax ring into the bottom of the mold box by the fill and vent sprues. Once that's dry, you're ready for your liquid rubber. Now, you may need more or less rubber than I did, depending on the size of your mold box. But for me, I just use 1 Dixie cup of each part. Now, you want to add the 2 parts of it, one at a time. You want to add part B first. this so that you can get it stirred perfectly. Now, you want to add part A, which is the pink part, obviously. Now, you basically stir it for quite a while. Basically, for as long as you need to, actually. I use Umu 30 because it has a much longer pot life, which means you're in no real hurry to get it into the mold. Make sure you scrape the sides of it, and also the bottom of it too. Right. And when you're done mixing it, it'll be a nice purple color. Now, you pour your liquid rubber into your mold. From about that high up. You're doing this so you get as little air bubbles in there as possible. And once it's full of rubber, you might want to basically tap it on the counter a little bit. This way, if you do get any air bubbles in there, they'll just float up to the surface. Right. And now you set it on the counter for your appropriate curing time. And for Umu 30's case, 6 hours. Now, you want to take a scalpel blade and cut the mold open. But before you do this, you want to take the mold box apart and get rid of all the hot glue. Alright, now you've got a rubber negative mold of the ring you want to cast. Now, you're ready for the resin. Now, you want to stir equal parts of your resin, using safety first, of course. Right. The good stuff about using Smooth Cast 327 is that it has a 1-to-1 mixing ratio, which makes it quite easy to use. Right. Right. It's a lot better to mix up more resin than you need than it is to not have enough. And you'll know when you pour it into the mold that it's completely full once you fill to the point that resin comes up out of the vent sprue. Now, just like with the rubber, you'll leave it on the counter for your appropriate curing time, which for 327's case is 2 hours. Alright guys, now you're ready to take your ring out of the mold. Right. The beauty of using all smooth-on products is that you don't have to use any kind of mold release with them. Once that's out of the mold, you got yourself a pretty and convincing urethane ring. Final touches include carving it to perfection with the Dremel, spray painting it silver, and attaching the emerald green gemstone of your choice. So there you have it, guys. Now you know how to make an awesome Green Lantern ring. Now there's a whole list of different methods that you can use to make a Green Lantern ring. I feel that this carve, mold, and cast method is the easiest and least expensive one you can find. And this is just the beginning. Modify this method a little bit. You can make any kind of ring you want. Whether it be a pirate's ring or something like that. And just modify this tutorial a little bit. So, you don't have to thank me for putting this up, by the way. Just like this, leave a positive comment, and subscribe, and live long and prosper.